Hi folks, I'm Richard Friedman and welcome to my political cartoon countdown for August 26, 2021. Every week or a couple of weeks we get together and we do the top political cartoons from Twitter based on impressions. It's like I always say to Casey Kasem coming from New York, the Casey Kasem countdown where we did top 40. Well, this week we do the top 5 of my political cartoons on Twitter, starting off with number 5 and working our way up to number 1. And before we get to the countdown, I'd just like to introduce you to my new book here. This is my latest book. You see all these, recognize some of these people here. I've done this before, so you could just see if you could pick them out. There's Matt Gaetz. There's Dr. Fauci with his hand over his eyes. Bernie Sanders over here. Mitch McConnell on the trombone. The Pillow Man. Mike Landell. Trump supporters. The Ghost of Nixon. Barr. Former Attorney General William Barr. President Joe Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris. There's the book. Okay, it's available. You can purchase it from Amazon, or you can go onto my website, which is richardsbooksofpoliticalcartoons.com. No punctuation, no apostrophe S, and no spaces. Just plain richardsbooksofpoliticalcartoons.com, and there's a link into Amazon, and you can see all my other works. If you don't feel like buying the book, you could go through like a political Disney World of all my other books and all the samples, and some of the samples to this book as well, and just have a good time. So I would hope you would enjoy, and at whatever event, I would hope you enjoy my cartoons. And so I just want to do one last thing and give you, this was my fifth book, and this is a book from the Greatest 2019 book, which is also available. The Greatest 2019 book of political cartoons on issues of the Donald J. Trump presidency. And here, all the things that occurred through that presidency, through this period of time. This is edition 2, July through to December of 2019. And so there's the book, The White House in the background. And so on this date, August 26, 2019, here's the cartoon I was doing 2 years ago. This is a cartoon from, here we go. You can see here, August 26, 2019. Okay, it goes like this. Trump pitches his Trump National Doral Golf Resort in South Florida to host next year's G7 global meeting in 2020, raising questions about whether the event is being used as a way to get his Miami property out of a financial rut. Trump's pitch and his possible afterthoughts, August 26, 2019, while at the G7. This is at the G7, ahead of that event at the Doral Golf Resort. Okay, so here we are. Here's 2019, France, Biarritz, 2019. The thoughts of President Trump at the time. back 2 years, just 2 years ago, the 26th of August 2019. And here he says, all the villas, talking about the Doral Resort, all the villas have fantastic views. The ballrooms are beautiful and the parking is huge. The only thing I care about is this country. I couldn't care less about making money. Okay, and now he's thinking, and here he is as they approach the Doral here. Couldn't care less about making money. And here comes the limousine of some foreign dignitary driving up in South Florida there with the palm trees coming up. And there's a big sign ahead of entering the parking lot with the flag of the person who's representing a country there. And here he is taking the sights in, this foreign visitor to the Doral probably for the first time. There he is. And he's driving up with his big limousine, diplomat limousine. And here here's his chauffeur. He reads the sign, says, the sign says, Trump National Doral special parking rate for this event. For G7 Global Group, just for the G7 Global Group, $25 per hour, 24 hours. Continual 24 hours a day. You want to park here, it's $25 per hour just for this special event, for those special people who are foreign dignitaries visiting here. Okay, so there we go. So that's high parking rate. There it is. There's the palm trees in the background, and there's a sign again in the limousine, the foreign dignitary. Former President Trump. Just 2 years ago, exactly. Okay, all right, folks. All right, let's get to the countdown now, starting off with numero 5 de la semana, number 5 of the week. Okay. Here, this is the last plane out of Afghanistan. And there is a worker, an Afghan worker, who had helped the United States, who they were not able to get out. So he decided to take a swim and wave farewell to the last plane out. And there he is. As the sun sets in Afghanistan, in front of the mountains there, he's swimming in a body of water there, and he's looking up. Okay, here's the cartoon. Given August 24th, Biden kept to his August 31st deadline to withdraw from Afghanistan, saying, the sooner we finish, the better. But went on to order up contingency plans. So he's saying to the military, well, you get the hell out of here as quick as you can, but I want you to plan in case something comes up and we're going to stay a little longer, and then we'll just go have a plan in case we have to stay longer. So so that's a little wishy-washy. That's like saying you open up a store. Somebody opens a store, you see, and they have a store, and they say our policy is no refunds. You cannot refund anything. Once you buy it, it's a final purchase. No refunds. But if you want, you can go to our refund department over here and see what you can do. It's the same kind of thing. It's there and not there. So anyway, come that date, okay, but ordered up contingency plans for Afghanistan. Come that date, an Afghan who worked for the U.S. waves farewell to the last C-17 jet plane, U.S. C-17 jet plane flying out, okay, from the country. Okay, and there it is. There's the drawing. That drawing took a lot of effort, drawing all those mountains and getting those mountains in and the plane there. But it looks, I wanted to capture, the individual there and capture the mountains and the water and the sunsets. As the sun sets, United States Air Force C-17 flying away, and this is what is on the back of the plane, you know. If you ever went to the beach when you were a kid, you know, went to Jones Beach, Long Island, there was always a plane going by, a propeller plane. They advertised, you know, Jimmy's Dinner's $2.75, you know, and there was always those planes that fly by when you go into the ocean with those tags on the back of him. So this is like that kind of thing. Flying to advertise what the story is here. There it goes. Okay, and it's saying here, contingency plans coming up by Labor Day, which is the first Monday in September. So there it is. There it is. There's a man. He's looking up at the plane flying out, and he sees that. Contingency plans, you know, to give him some hope, you know, just, you know, like the guy who says, no refunds in our store whatsoever, but we have a refund department to the left, and you could check it out and see what you can do. You know, so he's thinking, what can I do here? You know, what can I do here? It's got a plane, that's plane out, and here I am, left in Afghanistan. I was maybe an interpreter or a chauffeur or whatever, and here I am, you know. Taliban ain't gonna like that resume, ain't gonna like my resume too much, you know. So there it is, folks. Like I always say, I don't like to make anybody think. I always like to give you the joke, and then you decide with the facts mixed in, and then you take it from there. So there it is here. Farewell to Afghanistan with a contingency. Okay. Número 4 de la semana, number 4 of the week. You know who this is? Secretary of State Antony Blinken, watching in real time a U.S. Chinook helicopter flying above the U.S. Embassy in Kabul. So here he is in front of his TV set, and he's watching. That's what we were all doing, you know, bringing back the days of Vietnam, the withdrawal from Saigon, you know. In those days it was black and white. We didn't have these TVs we have today with high definition and all that, and digital, you know. We were watching on a black and white screen, you know. You just saw like the images of wasn't the same. Here, like you're there. Today it's amazing, and it's more impacting in a way. So there it is. So here he is, Blinken, watching. He's watching that scene of the Chinook helicopter flying in to take people out of the U.S. Embassy in Kabul. In real time, a U.S. Chinook flying the U.S. Embassy under orders to evacuate. Amid its diplomatic personnel now under orders to evacuate. Following the Taliban having swept through Kabul with little resistance, the helicopter scene bringing back memories of the fall of Saigon in 1975 in the wake of the Vietnam War. So anybody's seeing that scene, I know instantly my reaction was Saigon. I mean, I was old enough then to remember that. So, you know, so there he is. And he's thinking, This is not Saigon. We will open another embassy location at the airport. This is word for what he said. I don't make this stuff up. We will open another embassy location at the airport, safe. He didn't say safe from the Taliban, but that's what it amounts to. I mean, he's not moving out because of anything else, you know. They're at their doorstep. The Taliban's at their doorstep, you know. So, safe from the Taliban. We have dealt with the terrorist folks who attacked us on 9/11. We have dealt with them, those folks, assuming he means Al-Qaeda, yeah. This mission is a success. But now, I'm saying this factually. The mission 20 years ago was to capture bin Laden, or whatever, and to remove the Taliban from power, and we can get Al-Qaeda as a result of 9/11. Now, the mission here, that was not the mission here. The mission here was to end the war in Afghanistan. That was the mission. And to do it in a way that the people who helped us were taken out safely, orderly, in a fashion that was respectful to them, that we showed respect for what they had done for us and the lives they saved and what they had risked their lives for. That was the mission. So to allude to 20 years ago, you know, anyway, you decide. But this was the cartoon there, Anthony Blinken, Secretary of State Anthony Blinken. And his thoughts. August 21st. From the TV set, watching the Chinook helicopters landing at the embassy. Okay. Numero 3 de la semana. Okay, we're getting up there now here. Here we have an interesting thing here. This is the airport, Kabul airport. And this is after President Biden's speech on he was increasing the perimeter with the help and cooperation of the Taliban. So anyway, there it is here. So there we have the runway of a plane preparing to take off. We have here the fence, the barbed wire fence that stops people from getting over them. Getting over. They have one door or two to get through. They don't want people climbing the fence to mob an airplane, so it's barbed wire there. And this is a couple running for their lives to get on a plane. Okay. And here we have U.S. Servicemen who increased who with the cooperation of the Taliban, have increased the perimeter around the airport. So these people don't have to climb the fence anymore. They can run instead of walking. They can run around. So anyway, and here is two represented Taliban fighters. So they're not right on top of the airport anymore. They moved back, and here's the U.S. servicemen as a buffer between these two. This couple serving as a buffer. We're there. Okay. And this is the definition of increasing the perimeter for the Afghan people to leave in a respectful way. the plain, there's the mountains. Okay. And this is what the man says to his wife as they're running through this perilous course here. Zulema, it's an popular female name in Afghanistan. Zulema, we have to thank President Biden for expanding the perimeter. Really have to thank President Biden for expanding the perimeter. Remember, the other day we almost got shot climbing this wall. You know, so this is an improvement. This is their improvement with the increased perimeter. You know. So they're happy they don't have to climb any walls. All they have to do is just run past the Taliban with a couple of U.S. Soldiers as a buffer there. Okay. Biden on Sunday, August 22nd, 2021 says that rational access to Kabul airport has increased and the Taliban has been cooperative in extending some of the perimeter, but it's still dangerous, a couple's plight. Okay, so this is rational access, where you run past these guys with their weapons here, with a couple of soldiers protecting you. That's rational access. Rational. It's irrational if you have to climb a barbed wire fence and then you have somebody shooting at you, or you're doing that. That's irrational. But rational is if you're running, you've got two servicemen here and you've got your Taliban here waiting to open fire there. And so that's rational access. You know, there you go. All right, I ain't saying nothing. You decide, folks. There you have it. There they go. They're running along there. There they go. All right. So much for animation. Okay. We're moving along here. The numero 4 de la semana, number 4 of the week. Okay, now here, we go back in time about a week or so ago. Here till August 16, 2021, we have here President Joe Biden here making his speech. And there we have a C-17, and we have people mobbing the C-17. This is in the early days, trying to hold on. A few people fell off the plane while it was flying up. They were so determined not to get off the ground that they hung on for dear life, and they lost it, and boom, we saw them go down, you know. So, of course, it brings back memories of 9/11. It's very tragic that these people lost their lives doing this like that, you know, and in the desperation, you can imagine what was going through their minds, that they would risk their lives to do a thing like this, and many were perished in the landing gear and whatnot. So it's a horrific thing here, and here they are all running. I drew this as I saw it, you know, just from an actual picture. I drew this. And so the cartoon goes as follows. President Joe Biden addresses the nation after the Taliban takes Afghanistan, following the announcement of the U.S. withdrawal. Amid at Kabul airport, Afghans trying to escape the country scramble and cling to a U.S. C-17 Air Force jet on August 16, 2021. Right? There they are. There's the C-17. Okay, and here is President Biden. Okay, the Afghan collapse was quicker than expected. I think that's a little bit of an understatement, you know, quicker than expected. Now, after 20 years, I've learned the hard way that there was never a good time to withdraw U.S. forces. Never a good time to withdraw U.S. forces. You know, I'm just, without a script, I'm just free association. It just reminds me of Donald Rumsfeld when he says, you don't go to war, he said, you don't go to war with the army you wish for, you go to war with the army you've got. So Biden, in a sense, is saying here, you don't withdraw when the time is right, because there's no good time, there's no right time to go to war, and there's no right time to withdraw. When you have to go to war, Rumsfeld said you go to war. And Biden here is saying when you got to withdraw, you withdraw. So there is some relationship here between former Secretary of Defense under former President George W. Bush, his Secretary of Defense, Rumsfeld, during the time in Iraq when a soldier complained about the armored vehicles. They didn't have enough armor, and too many men were getting shot up, blown up, and they wanted more armored vehicles, you know. So, and they were they asked him a question about that, and Rumsfeld's response was, when you go to war, you don't go to the war with the army you want, you go to war with the army you got, not with the army you would wish you had. So here, in a way, Biden is saying when you withdraw from a country, it's not like you're planning a vacation somewhere, you know, and you're going to pack up your bags and you say, well, we're going to go now. This is, you go when you go. You know, you don't have to plan that much. There's no good plan. There's no real foolproof plan, and to withdraw from a country, you know, it doesn't really matter that much if you get everybody's passport and you get their paperwork done and you secure the roads to the airport and you get the paperwork. Everybody has their paperwork and done. Everybody's organized, and the roads are secure. It don't matter much at all because you got to go when you got to go. That's it. That's it. So anyway, so the Afghans are quicker than expected. After 20 years, I've learned the hard way that there was never a good time to withdraw U.S. forces. Many Afghans didn't want to leave earlier anyway. They didn't want to go anyway. They get homesick for Afghanistan. If they left, they were afraid to get homesick, you know. Anyway, I stand squarely behind this decision. I stand squarely behind this decision. And there he is standing here behind his decision, what it resulted in here. There it is. Standing squarely behind it. There it is. He is behind it. All right. I see the plane taking off. Here goes the plane. All right. Okay. Numero uno de la semana. Number one of the week. Number one of the week. Okay. Jake Sullivan comes in at number one. You know, I wasn't too happy about drawing this cartoon. I'll tell you why. Because Jake, he reminds me of my chemistry teacher, Mr. Dougherty from DeWitt Clinton High School. And I was no great chemistry great student of chemistry. And I was really nearly flunking the course. His name was William Dougherty, really a nice man, the nicest teacher, best teacher you could ever have. And that chemistry flew me for a loop. And I was pushing as hard as I could, and I wasn't quite passing. So he gave me a test. He said, look, Friedman, you want to pass this class? You come here and you're going to take the test. After school, I'm going to give you another test. You pass it, you pass the class. You do well on this, and it shows me that you know something. You can pass the class still. So I didn't ask him for this. He went ahead and did this. me to give me the opportunity to pass the chemistry class. And so I studied my head off. Went home, I must have stayed up, burned the oil all night, studying the balancing equations. That's what it was. It was balancing chemistry equations. It was all you had to do, the balancing it out and everything like that. The ions and all this and that, and it was the coefficients in front of it was but I got it. I did very well, actually. I did well on it. And he said, well, the only thing you left off a few parentheses, but you got it. So I passed the class. And another teacher might have said, well, you don't have the grades. Why should I'm not going to mark any more test papers for you. My test papers all I want to mark. You got what you got. But no, so I didn't feel too happy about, he might have been related, another Irishman. But William Dougherty really helped me out there, So, especially since I just made it in by the skin of my teeth into the City University of New York. So, I failed that course. I might have gone straight out to Vietnam, because my parents had no money to send me anywhere, not even to a state school, So, that was it. That was the last ticket for education for me, and I just made it. And I never forget Mr. William Dougherty. And then this man looks just like him. Looks the image, the splitting image of him, looks just like him. Same age at the time too. So he probably, that was a long time ago. That was a long time ago in the '60s. So here's a cartoon. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan gives rosy response on August 17, 2021, in answering below reporter's question, given U.S. military presence does not extend beyond Kabul airport and the Taliban roadblocks to the airport. And the Taliban, we knew about that. Question, can you tell us what is it exactly, the commitment that you have secured from the Taliban regarding safe passage of Americans as well as the tens of thousands of vulnerable Afghans who helped us, the interpreters, the drivers, and all that business, So he says, this is the question that was posed to him by a reporter at the press conference that he sat in on, And he says, the Taliban have informed us that they are prepared to provide the safe passage of civilians to the airport. We know what happened to that. And we intend to hold them to that commitment. Okay, and then there he is, that's it. See? And then the next question reporter asks, logical question, do you believe the Taliban? Do you believe them? And Jake Sullivan says, yes. Next reporter. Okay, and here is what was drawn here in this cartoon was the Jalalabad to Kabul bus station. This is a bus station that all buses go from Jalalabad to Kabul. It's a bus station there, you see? And it says Taliban Express. So the Taliban would furnish their own transportation to see that everybody got there safely. Again, I tell you to use your imagination on this cartoon, because I'm not going to go into it, Just use your imagination. Taliban Express. And these people supposedly are people who are Afghans who helped Americans getting bus passage from the Taliban Express bus service from Jalalabad to Kabul bus station. Oh, okay. That was number one of the week. There they go. All right. I want to thank you folks for watching my political cartoon countdown for this day, August 26, 2021. And I want to wish you all the best of health and stay well and do what you have to do to keep away from crowds. And when you're in risk, try to protect yourself with masks. It's very important. They're telling us that, and I believe it. And so I'm going to right now sign off just to make a little impact. I'm going to put my mask on right now. So I want to sign off to you folks and telling you, wear your mask, get your vaccines, stay well, and I always say, God bless you, and God bless America. And until next time, see you again, folks. Take care. Bye. That was my mask. Yeah. Oh.